Basically the physique that I can hope for. It's basically the physique that's realistic for me to attain, and unfortunately it's not a whole lot. Whew. Oh hey, what's up? Didn't see you guys there. Welcome back to Texas Flex. I'm Mike Hernandez, and today, well, we're just going to talk about pretty much everything. At this point, this channel is more of a vlog channel, I guess. It started off as like garage gym reviews, but nobody really cares, I guess. I mean, I still have a couple videos that I want to do, but I don't know. I guess I'm just out of that phase, and I'm pretty much done buying stuff. I mean, I'll buy things here and there, but not anything that I feel like reviewing. I've actually returned quite a few things since the last time I saw you guys, and I don't know. Just not feeling the whole review vibe anymore. So even though those have the most views on my channel, that's not what I wanted to be about. So we're changing directions. Let me grab the camera real quick. All right, so speaking of changing directions, that's as good of a segue as any to get to what I want to talk about, and that is the REDCON1 readiness trials. I've pretty much lost since like day one. I just don't think that those challenges are very realistic or take into account a ton of variables. And I mean, I could name them off, but you know which ones I'm talking about. Not to mention that, it's not very practical. I think 8 weeks is a good starting point, absolutely, but it's not the end all be all, right? After the 8 weeks, what are you supposed to do? And that's kind of how I'm changing things around a little bit. Now that we're a little over a week out, and I've already seen some of the transformations that some of the contestants have had, I can pretty much count myself out of the race. Like I said at the beginning of this series, my transformation is more about being realistic. Was I going to push a little bit? Absolutely. But I wasn't going to take things to the extreme. I mean, I started at 20% body fat, or pretty close to like 23, and now I feel like I'm at 19, 20%. So even though I've made pretty good progress, and I'll still make an end of the challenge kind of video, I don't feel like I'm being realistic, okay? Not optimistic, not pessimistic, right? I'm being realistic in the fact that I just shouldn't even get my hopes up. I'm still gonna turn in the after photo, but let's face it, man, if you're just the average Joe like myself, and I'm not downplaying myself at all, I know that I have a really strong work ethic, and I think that this whole bodybuilding slash powerlifting slash, trying to be the best you can be, kind of like self-selects who deserves or who is going to be in this lifestyle. So I'm already outside of the norm, but within the fitness, channel, I would say I'm about average. I don't think that I'm gonna make the top 100 or top 10, right? Much less win the whole thing. So at this point, I'm safely assuming that it's okay for me to transition from a heavy cut, right? Because that's exactly what this has been, into more of a reverse diet that will lead me into a main gaining phase, okay? And that's because right now I'm at 1,500, sometimes 1,300 calories a day, and doing up to 2 hours of cardio on the bike or the elliptical at the gym. And it's okay, I guess. So before this week, the last 2 weeks, I felt just terrible, like a zombie, basically just going through life, trying to survive, and I felt like I just couldn't. The calories were low, my energy was low. I had to train all these people and still have some charisma, and it was almost impossible to keep myself awake at night, which, I mean, is common for me, but just know that I wasn't getting the recovery nor the nutrition to really be at my best. And that's kind of what happens during a cut. Now I feel a little bit better because I'm preparing myself for that reverse diet by oscillating my diet right now. That means that I'm doing some days where I'm a little bit closer to 1,700 calories a day, and some days that I'm a little bit closer to like 1,200, which still isn't great, but I'm accumulating or trying to adapt into this sort of calorie range where I want to be at the end of, not this week, but next week. So as I start to eat more calories, my body gets more energy, and things just seem better. And it's pretty great because I can already feel my strength coming back. I'm doing almost twice a day just so that I can keep up with the deficit. And no, I wouldn't, again, that's something that I wouldn't suggest to the normal person, right? I train mostly general population, and a lot of this stuff just wouldn't apply to them. I wouldn't even suggest the 8-week challenge. That's too much. There's too much expectation. There's too much stuff that you have to go through that typically is only reserved for people trying to do a bodybuilding competition. If you're outside of that scope, then it's not for you. So the second thing I wanted to talk about was the program that I'm starting to run now, and that's MAPS Anabolic. I'm just about to finish phase 1, and I think it was very, very, very super appropriate for what I'm trying to do, or at least lead myself into, because I'm trying to get back into a regaining phase, or my bad, a main gaining phase, right? And I can only do that if I take it very slowly. So I'm upping my calories slightly. I'm still sticking to like a little bit of a deficit, but I have the approach of bringing back my calories up to like pretty close to 3,000, because that's where I was at beforehand, and my weight was staying steady. And that's kind of where I want to be. I like eating that much food, and that if I can build more muscle in that range, then that's even better. Right now, I don't feel like I'm building muscle. The only reason that I feel like I look bigger and more aesthetic is because I've lost enough weight, enough body fat to where my muscle actually stands out a little bit more. And that's not to say that I have the best physique in the world. I hope that nobody took that from the intro, that this guy is into himself or whatever. I'm just proud, okay? Because it's been a long time since I've seen any vascularity, since I could even tell that I had muscle. I just was kind of like this loaf of a man. So there's that. And the whole MAPS Anabolic thing, I know I kind of went on a tangent, but coming back to that was pretty great because it's only two times a week. And I know I said I'm doing 2 days in cardio and blasting myself with all this freaking expenditure, right? But 2 times for strength training is super beneficial because you get all this time to recover, and it doesn't tax your body as much. There's also trigger sessions that continue to amplify that muscle building signal to my body. So I feel pretty good to the point where even though some of my days are still low calorie, the high calorie days and the fact that I'm not being extra with my workouts is, I don't know, it just feels good. So there's that. And then as far as the garage gym, it's not going anywhere. This has always been my dream, to be a personal trainer and have a garage gym where, I don't know, potentially I could train people out of, but mostly just so that I have no excuse this is my life. And I hope that somehow I have portrayed that in the last 15 or so videos that I've come out with in the last like 7 months. And if I haven't, then whoops, my bad. But that's what I've been trying to, get out there. And that's kind of the message that I've been going for, that this lifestyle, I guess you could call it, isn't for everybody. But I think if you wanted to ease your way in, I hope that I have provided enough information for that. There's a couple videos that I still want to come out with: the functional trainer, the new bell adjustable dumbbells. I've gone through all of this before. What I'm saying is that even though I'm not going to be reviewing products as like the main focus of this channel, I still might from time to time. It doesn't matter, because it's my opinion and I like voicing it. I like being heard, I guess. That's part of my freedom. So I think that's it. I hope I included enough clips to make it somewhat interesting and not just, me talking to a camera. I hate those videos. I hate vlogs that are like that, right? I like being able to look at B-roll footage that's entertaining, I guess, and I like providing that as well. So if you guys have any comments, leave them down below. I know this shirt is sick, and you can get one for yourself among the other shirts that I've displayed throughout my videos in the links in the description. So be sure you hit those. There's like a ton of promotions that go on with REDCON1. So it just kind of depends on the day. If you get lucky, there's like a 50% off or a buy one, get one. And if you're not so lucky, then you can just use my discount code T20TexasFlex to save yourself at least 20% from your order. That's the end of the video. I will see you guys at the next flex.